question and ask the same one for each one of you. We've talked about being at an inflection point here. We've talked about many trends that are leading to that inflection point. And at inflection points, you can either create a lot of wealth and you can lose a lot of wealth. Given that, where do you believe are the upcoming opportunities in real estate, and where would you invest capital right now? Ed, going to kick us off?
I have to give all my secrets to Bill here. No, actually, I'm taking from his playbook. I think transit-oriented development is obviously of mixed uses, and will continue to be a property type that reflects the desires of today's consumers and lifestyle. Moving from the traditional food groups of retail, office, existing retail, existing office, I think are going to be challenged for a while. Industrial may be fully priced, especially with rising rates. I still love the technology-oriented real estate, including data-oriented real estate, telecom real estate, biotech real estate. And I think that that's where some smart money is going to continue to flow until that gets fully arbitraged. I'm not sure that it is fully arbitraged yet. And I think that if people of solid mind and good conscience sat down together with brains like Richard's, we could probably figure out what the hell to do about affordable housing in Philadelphia, because we certainly need to figure it out. We can't go further as a city with the kind of housing that we have. We need to find ways that are economically viable to build affordable housing. And it should be inclusive affordable housing, where we're not creating food deserts and economic deserts like the public housing of prior years, where we're just creating social problems. I think we have to figure out what to do about affordable housing. It's a nationwide problem, but in our case, it just layers on top of other problems that we already have.
Thanks, Ed. Bill?
So if you talk about real estate investing 101, I mean, your goal is to get the best risk-adjusted return, right? And when you talk about risk-adjusted in the city of Philadelphia, where is the highest value trade with the highest barriers to entry? You know, there's Warren Buffett's moat, like what's the biggest moat? So it's really what we've been talking about in the life science spaces. Like if you were going to invest capital today, and this is going to be a recurring theme through the discussion today, but the real estate assets around life science companies are so hard to replace. And let me get specific here, what we're talking about. Richard spoke about, you know, the unique part of life sciences. That is, Philadelphia has a cell and gene therapy expertise that it is capitalizing on in a way such that Philadelphia could be branded as Silicon Valley, right? And that's starting to stick. And when you say, if you want to attract cell and gene therapy companies, you're going to be working with cellular microscopy. Now, to get cellular microscopy in laboratories, and these laboratories are what's known as cGMP laboratories or BSL-2 laboratories, which have, as I said, very high engineering tolerances, the greatest tolerances of which are floor load and floor vibration, ceiling heights, and there's a lot of things like this that just don't exist in most properties. So they're purpose-built, and purpose-built properties are hard to find. So for us, there's a property that we own at 6th and Walnut called the Curtis. The Curtis building is an iconic building. And this is one of the most fun stories for me, because this is where you're not good, you're lucky. I just got lucky, we got lucky. We owned a property that was built for publishing. It was Curtis Publishing. And it was built to carry printing presses. Well, printing presses, as you can imagine, have a very strict tolerance for floor vibration. That is, if the floor would vibrate, the ink would go all over the place and you would never have a periodical that somebody could read. So it turns out that that tolerance, that engineering tolerance for floor vibration for a printing press is greater than that of a CGMP laboratory. Well, wouldn't you also know that the floor load required to carry these big heavy machines back then was 200 pounds of live load? Well, your typical building has about 80 pounds. Your CGMP labs need 100 pounds. We have 200. We have 15-foot ceiling heights. They need 14 clear. We have 15. So we really got lucky there. And if you add all of these up and say, hey, you'd like to reproduce a property like the Curtis, which is 1 million square feet on Market East. Well, to reproduce that building would take $800 to $1,000 a square foot and take 3 to 5 years. So we have a moat that leaves us as one of one on the east side of town for years. And that's an exciting place to invest capital.
That's great. Richard, bring it home.
Can you imagine re-engineering DNA right across the street from Independence Hall? What a great building that is. And I'll tell you, to give you another example of a really sophisticated need, the engineering, the manufacturing that's done for Carl June's immunotherapy has to be in a clean room that's everybody's clean, if not more than where they build manufacture microchips. And much of that is done, it needs to be done at near absolute zero. So those are two requirements that are highly specialized and are going to be part and parcel of what we need to have if we're going to grow the way we want to grow. Manufacturing genetically re-engineered material. So these guys have covered that side of it very, very well. We clearly need a lot more, as both these gentlemen have said, on the low-income housing side. And it's exacerbated by the fact that there's a lot of properties right now. I chair the PHFA, and there's a lot of properties we're seeing that have historically been low-cost housing, where the owners are now basically shutting down the low-cost housing and redeveloping it for high-end housing. So however acute the need was previously, it's been exacerbated by that. I think there's ample capacity at the federal level to provide the subsidization to really unleash a large amount of low-cost housing that meets our needs. It's just a matter of making that happen.